The ultimatum. The imposing chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Lyra Chen of Earth took the podium. Her heart raced, but she kept her composure, facing the sea of alien delegates before her. The tension in the air was palpable. Esteemed members of the Council, Lyra began, her voice steady despite her nerves. I come before you today to address the grievances brought against Earth. We seek peaceful resolution and continued cooperation with. A thunderous bang cut her off as Zarkax, the Draven representative, slammed his tentacles against his console. Enough of your honeyed words, human. Your kind has overstepped for the last time. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Lyra's stomach dropped as she realized the extent of the animosity against Earth. High Counselor Ixal, a being of pure energy contained within an ornate metallic shell, raised a glowing appendage for silence. Ambassador Chen, the Council has deliberated on the matter of Earth's recent advancements. Your rapid technological growth and expansion threaten the balance we have maintained for millennia. Lyra opened her mouth to protest, but Ixal continued. Therefore, we present you with an ultimatum. Earth will immediately cease all deep space exploration, dismantle its fledgling wormhole network, and submit to direct Council oversight of all future technological developments. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices. Some cheered, others protested, but most seemed grimly satisfied. Lyra stood frozen, her mind reeling from the implications. You have 1 Earth month to comply, Ixal concluded. Failure to do so will result in corrective action. As Lyra was escorted from the chamber, her mind raced. How could she possibly convey this to Earth's leaders? The ultimatum was tantamount to reducing humanity to a subjugated species, forever under the Council's thumb. The journey back to Earth was a blur of anxiety and frantic planning. As soon as her ship docked at the Lunar Diplomatic Center, Lyra rushed to meet with the emergency assembly of Earth's highest-ranking officials. President Adama of the United Earth Federation looked grim as Lyra finished her report. The holographic projections of other world leaders showed similar expressions of shock and anger. This is outrageous, thundered Premier Lai of the Chinese Confederation. We cannot bow to these demands. Chancellor Oquendo of the Pan-American Alliance nodded in agreement. But can we afford not to? Our deep space fleets are no match for the combined might of the Council races. As the debate raged on, a quiet voice cut through the noise. Dr. Imani Okoro, Earth's leading xenorchaeologist, had been listening silently until now. There might be another way, she said, her eyes gleaming with excitement and trepidation. All eyes turned to her as she continued. My team has recently uncovered evidence of an ancient human civilization, far more advanced than we ever imagined. We found references to a defensive system called the Aegis Protocol, hidden somewhere in the Sol system. President Adama leaned forward, intrigued. What kind of defensive system? We're not entirely sure, Dr. Okoro admitted. But from what we've deciphered, it seems to be a fleet of ships and weapons platforms, built by our ancestors to protect Earth from a threat they anticipated but never materialized. The room buzzed with excitement and skepticism. If such a system existed, why haven't we found it before? Asked Defense Minister Yuki Tanaka. Dr. Okoro smiled. Because we weren't looking for it. The system was designed to remain hidden until activated by a specific sequence of events that mirror our current situation with the Council. As the implications sank in, a spark of hope ignited in the room. President Adama stood, his decision made. Dr. Okoro, you have 1 week to find this Aegis Protocol. Ambassador Chen, stall the Council as long as you can. The rest of you, prepare Earth for every possibility. If this ancient fleet exists, we need to be ready to use it. If it doesn't, we need to be ready for war. As the meeting adjourned, Lyra caught up with Dr. Okoro in the corridor. Do you really think this Aegis Protocol exists? She asked, desperate for reassurance. The archaeologist's eyes twinkled with the thrill of discovery. Ambassador, I've spent my life piecing together the secrets of our past. Trust me when I say, our ancestors left us more than just ruins and artifacts. They left us a legacy, and it's about time we claimed it. As they parted ways, neither woman could shake the feeling that they stood on the precipice of a new era for humanity. Whether it would be an era of triumph or tragedy remained to be seen. In the days that followed, Earth became a hive of activity. Under the guise of complying with the Council's demands, the planet's best minds worked tirelessly to uncover the secrets of the Aegis Protocol. Dr. Okoro led a team of scientists and engineers in a frantic search across the solar system. They scoured ancient ruins on Mars, delved into the depths of Europa's oceans, and combed through long-abandoned bases on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Meanwhile, Ambassador Chen returned to the Galactic Council, employing every diplomatic trick in her arsenal to buy more time. She requested clarifications, proposed amendments, and engaged in lengthy debates over the minutiae of the ultimatum. All the while, the clock ticked inexorably toward the Council's deadline. As the end of the third week approached, hope began to fade. The Aegis Protocol remained elusive, and the Council's patience wore thin. Earth's leaders began to seriously consider capitulation, seeing no alternative to avoid a devastating war. But in the darkest hour, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Jai Patel, a junior researcher on Dr. Okoro's team, noticed a pattern in the ancient texts they'd uncovered. "It's not a location," he exclaimed, his eyes wide with realization. "It's a key." The team worked feverishly to decode the pattern, and as the final piece fell into place, a pulse of energy rippled through the solar system. On Earth, in orbit, and on bases throughout Sol, long-dormant systems hummed to life. And there, hidden in plain sight, humanity's legacy revealed itself. The rings of Saturn shimmered and parted, unveiling a vast array of ships and stations. Similar revelations occurred in the Kuiper Belt and the Oort Cloud. The Aegis Protocol had awakened. Humanity's ancient fleet stood ready. As reports flooded in, President Adama addressed the people of Earth. "My fellow humans," he began, his voice firm with resolve. "Today, we reclaim our destiny. We will not bow to the Council's demands. We will not surrender our autonomy. With the wisdom of our ancestors and the strength of our convictions, we will forge our own path among the stars." Across Earth and its colonies, cheers erupted. A mix of pride, hope, and trepidation filled the hearts of billions. In the Lunar Command Center, Ambassador Chen and Dr. Okoro watched as the first ships of the ancient fleet approached Earth. The sleek vessels, a perfect blend of familiar and alien design, moved with a grace that belied their immense power. "It's beautiful," Lyra whispered, awe evident in her voice. Imani nodded, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. "It's more than that, Ambassador. It's a second chance, a chance to rewrite our place in the galaxy." As the fleet took up defensive positions around Earth, a message was broadcast across all frequencies, in every known language of the Galactic Council. "To all sentient beings of the galaxy, we, the people of Earth, declare our intention to stand as equals among the stars. We extend an open hand of friendship to those who would join us in peaceful cooperation. But let it be known, we will not be subjugated. We will not be controlled. Earth stands ready to defend its sovereignty and the right of all species to determine their own destiny." The message concluded, and for a moment, the entire solar system seemed to hold its breath. The response, when it came, was immediate and overwhelming. The Galactic Council, enraged by Earth's defiance, declared humanity in open rebellion. Orders were given, fleets were mobilized, and across the galaxy, the drums of war began to beat. As the first Council ships appeared at the edge of the solar system, humanity stood united, ready to face whatever came next. The ancient fleet, a testament to human ingenuity and foresight, moved to intercept. The battle for Earth's future, and perhaps the future of the entire galaxy, was about to begin. Awakening the fleet. The ancient fleet hung in Earth's orbit, a silent testament to humanity's forgotten past and newfound power. Admiral Elena Vega stood on the bridge of the flagship, christened Prometheus, her eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her. The ship hummed with energy, systems beyond her wildest dreams coming online with each passing moment. "Status report," she barked, her voice steady despite the awe she felt. Commander Raj Patel, her second-in-command, responded promptly. "All systems are operational, Admiral. The fleet is at 100% capacity. We're still decoding some of the more advanced weaponry, but our basic defenses and propulsion are fully functional." Elena nodded, a mix of pride and trepidation washing over her. In just a week, they had managed to awaken and staff the entire Aegis fleet. It was a testament to human adaptability, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they were children playing with technology far beyond their understanding. "And the Council's forces?" she asked, turning to her tactical officer. Lieutenant Zhou Chen, a distant cousin of Ambassador Lyra Chen, pulled up a new holographic display. "The leading edge of their fleet will reach the outer markers of our solar system in approximately 48 hours, Admiral. We're detecting multiple wormhole signatures. They're amassing a force unlike anything we've ever seen." Elena's jaw tightened. They had known this was coming, but the reality of it still sent a chill down her spine. "Very well. Initiate Protocol Omega. All hands to battle stations. We make our stand here." As her orders echoed through the fleet, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the whirlwind of events that had led to this moment. The activation of the Aegis Protocol had sent shockwaves through Earth's political and military structures. Overnight, humanity had gone from a relatively minor player in galactic politics to a force to be reckoned with. The ancient fleet dwarfed anything Earth had previously fielded, both in size and technological sophistication. But with great power came great challenges. Earth's leaders had scrambled to form a unified command structure, setting aside centuries-old rivalries in the face of the looming threat. Admiral Vega, known for her strategic brilliance and unflappable demeanor, had been the natural choice to lead the fleet. Even as they prepared for war, Earth had not abandoned diplomacy. Ambassador Chen had returned to the Council one last time, armed with the knowledge of the Aegis fleet. She had hoped that the revelation of Earth's newfound strength might force the Council to reconsider its ultimatum. Her hopes had been in vain. The Council, far from being cowed, had reacted with fury. They saw the activation of the Aegis fleet as confirmation of their worst fears about humanity, that they were a young, unpredictable species with access to power they couldn't possibly understand or control responsibly. The Council's decision had been swift and merciless. Earth was to be subjugated, its dangerous technologies confiscated, its population brought to heel. The Aegis fleet was to be destroyed at all costs. And so, humanity found itself facing its greatest challenge. The next few days would determine not just the fate of Earth, but potentially the balance of power in the entire galaxy. On Earth, tensions ran high. Despite the government's best efforts to maintain calm, panic had begun to set in. The streets of major cities were eerily quiet, with most people huddled in their homes, glued to news feeds, and praying for a miracle. In Washington, D.C., President Adama addressed a joint session of the global parliament. His words were broadcast to every corner of the planet and to all human colonies in the solar system. "My fellow citizens of Earth and her colonies," he began, his voice grave but resolute. "We stand at a crossroads in human history. For too long, we have allowed others to dictate the terms of our existence in this vast galaxy. We have accepted limitations on our growth, our exploration, our very potential as a species." He paused, his eyes sweeping across the assembled leaders and the cameras that would carry his words to billions. "No more. With the awakening of the Aegis fleet, we have reclaimed our birthright. Our ancestors left us this gift, not as a weapon of war, but as a shield to protect our right to self-determination. We did not seek this conflict, but neither will we shrink from it." Adama's voice grew stronger, filled with conviction. To the people of Earth, I say this: stand firm. Have faith. Every person on this planet and throughout our colonies has a role to play in the days to come. Whether you're a soldier, a scientist, a teacher, or a farmer, your contributions matter. Your courage matters. To our brave men and women in the Aegis Fleet and our other defense forces, know that you carry with you the hopes and dreams of all humanity. Your valor and sacrifice will never be forgotten. And to the Galactic Council and all who would seek to oppress us, hear me well. Humanity will not bow. We will not surrender our freedom. We extend an open hand in peace, but we will meet force with force if we must. The children of Earth have awoken, and we will take our place among the stars. As Adama's speech concluded, a roar of applause erupted in the Parliament chamber. Across the planet, people emerged from their homes, a new sense of purpose and unity filling them. Volunteers flooded military recruitment centers and civil defense organizations. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, striving to unlock more secrets of the Aegis technology. In orbit, Admiral Vega watched the reactions spreading across the planet. A small smile tugged at her lips. "Looks like the president lit a fire under them," she mused. Commander Patel nodded. "It's good to see. We'll need every ounce of that spirit for what's coming." As if on cue, alarms blared across the bridge. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the noise. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple wormhole signatures at the edge of the system. They're earlier than expected." Elena's smile vanished, replaced by a mask of grim determination. "So they want to catch us off guard. Transmit to all ships. Battle plan Theta. Let's show them what this fleet can do." As the Aegis fleet moved into formation, the first wave of council ships emerged from their wormholes. The vastness of space was suddenly alive with thousands of vessels, a dizzying array of designs representing dozens of alien races. For a moment, everything was still. Two armadas faced each other across the void, the fate of a species hanging in the balance. Then, with a silent flash of energy weapons, the battle for Earth began. The initial clash was chaotic and brutal. The Council forces, confident in their superior numbers and experience, pressed forward aggressively. But they soon found that the Aegis fleet was unlike anything they had ever encountered. Ancient shields flickered to life, absorbing barrages that should have vaporized the human ships. Weapons of unimaginable power lanced out from Earth's defenders, cutting swaths through the alien armada. Admiral Vega's voice rang out clear and confident over the fleet's comm channels. "All ships, maintain formation. Concentrate fire on their command vessels. Remember your training, trust in each other, and trust in the legacy our ancestors left us." As the battle raged, it became clear that while the Council forces had numbers on their side, the Aegis fleet had a decisive technological advantage. Slowly but surely, humanity began to push back the invasion. But Elena knew better than to celebrate too soon. This was only the first wave. The real test was yet to come. As the initial assault was repelled, a tense calm settled over the battlefield. Both sides withdrew to regroup and assess their losses. On the Prometheus, Admiral Vega called her command staff for an emergency meeting. "We've bloodied their nose," she said, her face illuminated by the holographic battle map. "But this is far from over. They'll be back, and in greater numbers. We need to press our advantage while we can." Commander Patel spoke up. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the data from the battle. I think I've found a weakness in their formation we can exploit." As the human leaders planned their next move, across the solar system, the Council armada seethed with shock and rage. The easy victory they had anticipated had turned into a costly stalemate. Fleet Master Zoxar, overall commander of the Council forces, paced the deck of his massive dreadnought. "Impossible," he growled, his four eyes blinking in rapid succession. "How could those primitives have access to such technology? This changes everything." His advisors cowered before him, none willing to offer an explanation for their failure. Finally, one brave soul spoke up. "Perhaps Perhaps we should consider negotiation. If the humans truly control the power of the precursors, Zoxar silenced him with a savage growl. Negotiate. With animals who have stolen power they cannot comprehend. No. We will crush them, take their precious fleet, and ensure they never rise again. As Zoxar barked orders for the next assault, a shadow of doubt crept into the minds of many in the Council fleet. They had come expecting to put down an unruly child race. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy with the power to reshape the galaxy. The battle for Earth was far from over, but with each passing moment, the balance of power in the galaxy was shifting. Humanity had taken its first steps onto a larger stage, and the universe would never be the same. First contact, first blood. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of destruction as the second wave of the Council's assault crashed against Earth's defenses. The Aegis fleet, now fully awakened to its potential, met the onslaught with a ferocity that shocked even its own commanders. Admiral Elena Vega stood at the heart of the maelstrom, her eyes darting between holographic displays as she coordinated humanity's defense. Battle Group Orion, push forward. Don't let them regroup. Her voice rang out, steady and determined despite the chaos surrounding her. Commander Raj Patel's voice cut through the din of battle chatter. Admiral, we've broken through their left flank. The path to their command ship is open. A predatory smile flickered across Elena's face. This was the opportunity they'd been waiting for. All ships, this is Admiral Vega. Execute Operation Spearhead. I repeat, execute Operation Spearhead. The Aegis fleet moved with practiced precision, a maneuver they had drilled countless times over the past days coming to life. A wedge of Earth's most powerful ships, led by the Prometheus, burst through the gap in the Council's formation. On board the Council flagship, Fleet Master Zoxar watched in growing horror as the human ships approached. Impossible, he snarled, all four of his eyes widening in disbelief. All ships, protect the flagship at all costs. But it was too late. The Aegis ships unleashed a barrage of weapons fire, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Beams of pure energy, missiles that seemed to bend space itself, and swarms of autonomous drones overwhelmed the Council flagship's defenses. In a blinding flash, the massive alien vessel's shields collapsed. The Prometheus closed in for the killing blow, its main cannon charging with an ominous hum. Fleet Master, Elena's voice rang out across all frequencies. This is Admiral Vega of Earth's Aegis fleet. Your flagship is at our mercy. Stand down your forces immediately, or we will have no choice but to destroy you. A tense silence fell over the battlefield. For a moment, it seemed as if the entire galaxy held its breath. Then, with a grudging growl, Zoxar's voice came through. This is Fleet Master Zoxar. All Council forces, ceasefire. I repeat, ceasefire. A cheer erupted across the Aegis fleet. They had done it. Earth had stood against the full might of the Galactic Council and emerged victorious. But Elena knew that this was only the beginning. As the Council ships began to withdraw, she turned to her command staff. Well done, all of you, but don't celebrate just yet. The real work starts now. In the days that followed, the solar system became a hive of diplomatic activity. The Galactic Council, reeling from its unprecedented defeat, had no choice but to come to the negotiating table. Earth, once dismissed as a backwater world, now stood at the center of galactic politics. Ambassador Lyra Chen found herself in a position she had never imagined possible. Instead of pleading Earth's case before an indifferent council, she now led a team of human negotiators, dictating terms to the very beings who had sought to subjugate humanity. The terms are not negotiable, Lyra stated firmly, her gaze sweeping across the assembled alien diplomats. Earth and all human colonies will be recognized as a sovereign power, equal in status to any member of the Galactic Council. All restrictions on human technological development and expansion will be lifted immediately. Zoxar, now serving as the Council's chief negotiator, bristled at the demands. You asked too much, human. The Council cannot simply. Lyra cut him off, her voice sharp. May I remind you, Fleet Master, that it is only by our mercy that you still live, that your fleet still exists. We could have destroyed you all, but we chose peace. Do not mistake our compassion for weakness. As the negotiations continued, news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The reactions were as varied as the species that populated the cosmos. Some races, long chafing under the Council's rule, saw humanity's rise as an opportunity. Embassies from dozens of worlds arrived in the solar system, seeking alliances with this new power. Others reacted with fear and suspicion. How had these upstart humans acquired such advanced technology? What other secrets did they hide? Whispers of ancient prophecies and long-forgotten legends began to circulate in the darker corners of the galaxy. Back on Earth, the mood was one of cautious celebration. Humanity had survived its trial by fire, but the cost had been high. Memorial services were held for the brave men and women who had given their lives defending their homeworld. In a solemn ceremony broadcast across the planet, and to all human colonies, President Adama addressed the world. Today, we honor our fallen heroes. Their sacrifice has secured not just our survival, but our place among the stars. We have faced our greatest challenge and emerged stronger, more united than ever before. As Adama spoke, work continued around the clock to unlock more secrets of the Aegis technology. Dr. Imani Okoro led a team of Earth's brightest minds, poring over the wealth of knowledge left behind by their ancestors. It's incredible, Imani breathed, her eyes wide with wonder as she examined a holographic display of the Aegis fleet's propulsion system. This isn't just advanced technology. It's like they understood the fundamental laws of the universe in ways we're only beginning to grasp. Her colleague, Dr. Victor Petrov, nodded in agreement. The question is, why did they hide it? Why leave all this dormant for so long? Imani's expression grew serious. I think they were waiting. Preparing us for something. For what? Victor asked, a note of trepidation in his voice. I don't know, Imani admitted. But whatever it is, I have a feeling we're going to find out soon. As Earth grappled with its new reality, ripples of change spread across the galaxy. The balance of power, stable for millennia, had been irrevocably altered. Old alliances crumbled, new ones formed, and species that had long stood on the sidelines of galactic politics began to stir. In the depths of space, far beyond the borders of known civilization, something ancient and terrible stirred. Sensors that had lain dormant for eons crackled to life, registering the energy signatures of weapons not seen in the galaxy for millions of years. A consciousness vast and alien turned its attention towards the Milky Way. The Aegis had awakened. The prophecy was coming to pass. The long night was ending, and a real war was about to begin. Back in the solar system, blissfully unaware of the cosmic forces they had set in motion, humanity continued to celebrate its victory and plan for the future. They had faced their first true test as a galactic civilization and emerged triumphant. But as Admiral Vega stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, gazing out at the stars, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Something told her that the greatest challenges, the true purpose of the Aegis fleet, still lay ahead. With a deep breath, she turned to her crew. All right, people. We've won the battle, but the war for our future is just beginning. Let's get to work. As the Aegis fleet moved into formation, ready to defend Earth and push into the stars, humanity stood on the brink of a new era. The galaxy was changing, and for better or worse, they were at the heart of it all. The stars beckoned, filled with promise and peril in equal measure. And humanity, armed with the legacy of their ancestors and their own indomitable spirit, was ready to answer the call. Galactic repercussions. The news of Earth's victory over the Galactic Council spread across the cosmos at faster-than-light speeds, carried by quantum entanglement communicators and gossip-hungry traders. In the span of a few galactic rotations, Humanity had gone from an obscure, primitive species to the most talked-about civilization in the known universe. On the bustling trade world of Zarthax Prime, beings of 1,000 different species gathered in crowded marketplaces, their conversations a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and guttural sounds. The topic on everyone's minds: the humans and their mysterious Aegis fleet. I heard they destroyed half the Council armada with a single shot. A methane-breathing Korlax merchant exclaimed, its gaseous body rippling with excitement. A crystalline Vexstar, its faceted body glinting in the light of 3 suns, chimed in. Nonsense. But what is true is that their technology is unlike anything we've seen. Some say it's precursor tech. The mere mention of the precursors sent a hush through the crowd. The long-vanished race was little more than a legend to most, but their supposed technological marvels were the stuff of whispered awe and terror. As similar scenes played out across countless worlds, the galaxy's major powers scrambled to adjust to this new reality. The Galactic Council, once the undisputed arbiter of interstellar law, found its authority crumbling. In the Council's vast orbital habitat, emergency sessions dragged on for days. Representatives from hundreds of species argued, threatened, and pleaded as they tried to chart a course forward. High Counselor Ixel, his energy form flickering with stress, addressed the tumultuous gathering. Order. We must have order. The situation with Earth is grave, but not unsalvageable. We must present a united front. He was cut off by the harsh laughter of Groknar, the hive queen of the Vespid Collective. United? Your incompetence has shattered any illusion of unity, Ixel. The Collective officially withdraws from the Council. We will seek our own alliance with Earth. As more representatives followed Groknar's lead, declaring their independence or intention to ally with humanity, the Council chamber descended into chaos. Millennia of carefully maintained galactic order were unraveling in a matter of days. Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity grappled with its newfound power and the responsibilities that came with it. The UN Security Council had been expanded into a global defense directorate, tasked with managing Earth's military and diplomatic relations with alien civilizations. In a secure underground facility beneath Geneva, Ambassador Lyra Chen briefed the directorate on the latest developments. In the past week, we've received overtures from over 300 alien civilizations seeking alliances or trade agreements. Another 500 have requested our protection from various threats. General Octavia Rice, the grizzled veteran who now headed Earth's combined military forces, leaned forward. And how many of these are genuine? How many are just looking to exploit us or steal our technology? Lyra sighed, rubbing her temples. That's the problem, General. We simply don't know enough about galactic politics to be sure. We're operating blind in a lot of ways. Dr. Imani Okoro, newly appointed as Earth's chief xenotechnologist, spoke up. That's not entirely true. The Aegis database contains vast amounts of information about the galaxy's species and political structures. The problem is, most of it is millions of years out of date. President Adama, looking haggard after days of non-stop crisis management, nodded thoughtfully. So we have power, but lack the context to use it wisely. A dangerous combination. Exactly, Lyra agreed. We need allies. Trustworthy ones who can help us navigate this new reality. As if on cue, a holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room. Admiral Vega's face appeared, her expression grave. Mr. President, Directors, we have a situation. A large fleet of unknown configuration has just entered the solar system. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, claiming to be representatives of something called the Galactic Concordat. The room erupted into a flurry of activity. As orders were barked and strategies hastily formulated, Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. The game was changing again, and humanity was once more thrust into the unknown. In the depths of space, the Aegis fleet moved to intercept the newcomers. Admiral Vega stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her face a mask of determination. All ships, battle stations, Let's hope for the best, but be ready for the worst. As the two fleets drew near, a transmission cut through the tense silence. A holographic figure materialized on the Prometheus bridge, a tall, elegant being with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the depths of space within them. "Greetings, children of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating with an otherworldly harmony. "I am Zelvex, emissary of the Galactic Concordat. We come in peace, seeking alliance with those who bear the Aegis." Elena's eyes narrowed. "I am Admiral Vega of Earth. You'll forgive us if we're a bit cautious about unannounced visitors these days. What exactly is this Concordat, and why haven't we heard of you before?" Zelvex's expression was unreadable, but there was a note of what might have been amusement in its voice. "The Concordat has watched from the shadows for eons. Admiral, we are the keepers of balance, the guardians against threats too terrible for younger races to comprehend. And now, with the awakening of the Aegis, the time has come for us to step into the light." As Zelvex spoke, data streamed across the Prometheus screens. The Aegis systems were confirming the emissary's claims, matching them against ancient records thought lost to time. Elena felt a weight settle in her stomach. Whatever was happening, it was bigger than their conflict with the Council. Much bigger. "Emissary Zelvex," she said, choosing her words carefully. "I think this is a conversation we need to have planetside, with our full leadership present." The alien's eyes seemed to twinkle with starlight. "Indeed, Admiral. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hangs in the balance. It's time for humanity to learn the truth about its heritage, and the role you must play in the war to come." As arrangements were made for the historic meeting, tensions across the galaxy ratcheted up another notch. The appearance of the mysterious Concordat had thrown the already chaotic political situation into further disarray. On 1,000 worlds, beings looked to the skies with a mixture of hope and fear. Ancient prophecies were dusted off, long-forgotten technologies were pulled from vaults. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what Earth, and its newfound allies, would do next. The balance of power had shifted, and the tremors of change were only beginning to be felt. In the vast, cold expanses between the stars, something stirred. A presence older than the oldest civilizations, patient beyond mortal comprehension, turned its attention towards the Milky Way. The pieces were moving into place. The game that had been set in motion eons ago was entering its final phase, and at the center of it all stood humanity, armed with power they barely understood, facing a destiny they could scarcely imagine. The stars trembled with anticipation. The true test was about to begin. A new era dawns. The United Nations headquarters in New York City had seen its share of historic moments, but none quite like this. In a chamber hastily modified to accommodate a variety of alien physiologies, Earth's leaders sat across from the delegation from the Galactic Concordat. The air was thick with tension and the acrid smell of alien pheromones. President Adama, flanked by Ambassador Chen and Admiral Vega, faced the enigmatic Zelvex. The emissary's iridescent skin seemed to shimmer with barely contained energy. "You claim to have watched over the galaxy for eons," Adama began, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Yet you chose now to reveal yourselves. Why?" Zelvex's multifaceted eyes focused on the human leader. "Because, President Adama, the great cycle is nearing its end. The threat that your ancestors, the ones you call the precursors, sacrificed everything to contain is stirring once more." A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room, showing a map of the Milky Way. Dark tendrils of energy began to creep in from the outer rim, slowly engulfing entire star systems. "We call them the Void Hunters," Zelvex continued, "a force of cosmic entropy that seeks to unmake reality itself. Your ancestors fought them to a stalemate millions of years ago, sealing them away in the space between galaxies. But the seal is weakening." Dr. Okoro leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued despite the ominous news. "And the Aegis fleet, it's meant to combat this threat." Zolvex nodded. It is the key. The precursors knew they couldn't defeat the Void Hunters permanently, so they created the Aegis, a weapon and a shield hidden within the very fabric of your solar system, waiting for their descendants to reclaim it when the time was right. The room erupted into a flurry of questions and exclamations. Admiral Vega's voice cut through the chaos. You're telling us that humanity is descended from these precursors, that we're meant to fight some cosmic horror that even they couldn't defeat? Precisely, Admiral, Zolvex replied. The precursors didn't just leave you technology. They left you their legacy, their knowledge, their power, and their responsibility to the galaxy. As the implications sank in, a somber silence fell over the room. Humanity had thought its greatest challenge was carving out a place among the stars. Now, they found themselves thrust into a role as potential saviors of all existence. President Adama stood, his face a mask of determination. What do you need from us? Zolvex's expression softened, showing something akin to respect. First, we must unite the galaxy. The Void Hunters cannot be defeated by any one race or alliance. It will take the combined strength of all sentient life to stand a chance. Over the next few weeks, Earth became the center of feverish diplomatic activity. The Galactic Council, what remained of it, was dissolved. In its place, a new alliance began to form, the Cosmic Aegis Concordat, with Earth and the mysterious Zolvex's people at its core. Ambassador Chen found herself working around the clock, negotiating treaties and alliances with species humanity had barely known existed mere months ago. The Vespid Collective, the crystalline Vexstar, even the once hostile Draven, all pledged their support to the cause. Meanwhile, Dr. Okoro led a team of human and alien scientists in unlocking more secrets of the Aegis technology. Each discovery brought both wonder and trepidation, as the true scale of the coming conflict became clear. The Aegis ships aren't just weapons, Imani explained to a rapt audience of military and civilian leaders. They're cosmic tuning forks, capable of manipulating the very fabric of space-time. With enough power and precision, we might be able to seal the Void Hunters away permanently. Admiral Vega, listening intently, couldn't help but voice the question on everyone's mind. And if we fail? Imani's expression grew grim. Then there won't be a galaxy left to save. As preparations for the coming war intensified, humanity found itself changing. The activation of the Aegis had awakened something within the human genome, latent abilities that had lain dormant for millions of years. Reports began to flood in from around the world, people demonstrating telekinesis, telepathy, even the ability to manipulate energy fields. The legacy of the precursors was reasserting itself, transforming humanity into something more than they had ever been. Not everyone welcomed these changes. Protests erupted in cities across the globe, with some fearing that humanity was losing its identity. Others embraced the transformation, seeing it as the key to survival in a universe far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. Through it all, the leaders of Earth worked tirelessly to prepare their people for what was to come. Schools began teaching xenobiology alongside traditional subjects. Military academies incorporated lessons on fighting in Zerog and operating Aegis technology. Every aspect of human society was being reshaped by the knowledge that they were no longer alone, and that the fate of all existence might rest on their shoulders. As the months passed, the first tendrils of the Void Hunters began to breach the edges of the Milky Way. Outer colonies fell silent, entire star systems winked out of existence. The war that would determine the fate of all reality had begun. On the bridge of the Prometheus, now the flagship of the combined cosmic Aegis fleet, Admiral Vega stood before a vast array of holographic displays, ships of every conceivable design, human, alien, and everything in between. Stretched out before her, a testament to the unity forged in the face of cosmic annihilation. All ships, this is Admiral Vega, she spoke, her voice carrying across countless worlds. The moment we have prepared for is here. Everything we are, everything we have ever been or hope to be, comes down to this. We fight not just for Earth, not just for our allies, but for the very right of existence itself. She paused, feeling the weight of countless lives, past, present, and future, resting on her next words. The Void Hunters seek to unmake reality. We stand as the light against that darkness. We are the Aegis, the shield that protects all life. No matter what happens next, know this. We face it together. For Earth, for the galaxy, for all that is and all that will be, engage. As one, the greatest fleet the universe had ever seen surged forward. Aegis technology merged with the unique abilities of 100 different species, creating defenses and weapons beyond imagining. They flew to meet an enemy as old as time itself, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of countless civilizations. The final battle for the fate of the cosmos had begun, and at its heart stood humanity. No longer the new kids on the galactic block, but the inheritors of an ancient legacy and the key to the universe's survival. As the first shots were fired, and the fabric of space itself began to warp and tear, one thing became clear: win or lose, the galaxy would never be the same again. A new era had dawned, and humanity was at its center, ready to write the next chapter in the cosmic story. The stars trembled, reality itself held its breath, and in the crucible of cosmic war, the true destiny of Earth and its children would finally be revealed.